Maya, and this is the Growth Leader Spotlight, the place where marketing and growth leaders share their personal thoughts, stories, tips, and tricks on how to drive growth. I'm so happy to host Ornit Rotenberg here today. She's the head of performance marketing at Seeking Alpha, and before that, she was the head of performance marketing at Pepsi. Hey, Ornit, so great to have you here. So how are you?
I'm good, Maya. So happy to be here and also quite excited.
So tell us a little bit about Seeking Alpha.
Sure. So Seeking Alpha is the largest investing community in the world, basically. Our mission is to empower investors to make the best investing decisions by leveraging independent stock research with additional unique tools that are available only to premium subscribers. And no, you can't get a coupon for premium. Already got this question a few times.
Okay, so I won't ask for one. So you run the performance marketing department. Tell us a little bit about your main activities, your main responsibilities. How does your day-to-day look like?
Sure. So the performance team is focused on two main things. One is to drive more subscriptions and ARR. And the main activities are one, paid acquisition, which we measure by ROI positive and actual cashback from the paid campaigns. And the second one is on-site inventory, which we measure by maximizing the eCPMs, so that ideally we serve the right impression to the right user at the right time, so we can maximize the value out of it.
What do you mean exactly when you say you're using your internal inventory?
Basically, Seeking Alpha is both, of course, we're an advertiser, we're advertising outside of the website, but we're also a huge publisher, meaning that we have all the traffic coming to the website and we have a few millions of unique users each month. So these are users that we can sell their impressions, meaning the actual banners on the website. So we have a few different assets. We have banners, we have native, we have some single links. And these are, like I said, sold directly to advertisers from financial industries in the US, mostly trading platforms. And then all the leftovers are us to use, the marketing team. And basically, it's almost like another placement in the GDN where you can target, I want to target CNBC or I want to target CNN.com. So in this case, I'm targeting seekingalpha.com and it's my own website. I have just my own platform of DFP and I'm using the ads to show my own products to my users.
So I want to talk a little bit about COVID and about 2020, because 2020 has been a very intense year for the stock market. High volatility and a lot of uncertainty, but also a massive amount of new investors. And I think that above all, it's very clear that people are much more interested and much more connected to the market trends. And that's where you guys come in. What were the changes that you felt and how did you guys react to those changes? Specifically, how did it affect your growth strategy? Because I know that Seeking Alpha was going through major change of focus on growth even before the pandemic started.
Sure. So basically 2020 was the year of investment as I see it. Even that I wasn't part of the stock market, decided to dip my toe in the large pool of investments, and it worked out pretty great. And also you can read all about the newbies that are entering the market and the corona, the stock market's gone to the very lows basically. So we've seen lots of new blood in the market. So in general, even before COVID started, the leadership team in Seeking understood that we need to make some changes in the marketing team to meet the ARR goals. So the way it worked before was that impressions in the website were sold on a CPM base directly to advertisers in the US. And this is happening also today, just that the leftovers of those impressions were sold programmatically to generate the ad revenue. So what we did, and it was a bit of longer than a year, and we decided to stop with this programmatic inventory and to shift all the efforts and all the backfill of impressions to the performance team to maximize the subscriptions for premium. And that was a huge deal back then.
Yeah, it does sound like a very big change. And when thinking about it, it really makes sense because when you change your focus, then you change your business model. So targeting and converting first the users who are already engaged and already on your platform does make a lot of sense, starting from there to drive your growth. So how did this idea become? How did it take place?
Yeah, so it was a huge game changer, both to us as a company, to understand that we want to focus on subscription and not just on ad revenue. And also for me personally, because up until that moment, I focused more on paid acquisition efforts, and I was just in the middle of building the strategy. And I just had to pause everything and to learn a new system from scratch, DFP, the Google Ad Manager. And I think that the best thing that came out of it is that we learned how to market the premium product to the very core of our audience, because these are users that actually visit the website. So they have higher intent by nature. And we learned what is the best marketing messaging to use. And it was, instead of just trying to convince, very cold audiences in paid campaigns that premium is the right tool for them, because we had also a big challenge in convincing people, like in one day from click to conversion, that they need to sign up to premium. And I think that in terms of also for the long run, we all know that a company that is a subscription based is worth a lot more than just a company that is ad revenue based. And the fact that we have so much of strong subscription base, it was 1 year ago, we just started to get on scale, and now we're in a completely different position. We understood that it's the fuel that gives us the power to evolve and create a better product. And obviously also the Corona helped to see the great success very, very, very quickly.
So let's talk a little bit about numbers. What were the subscription numbers before you guys started this move, and what are the numbers right now?
Okay, so it will be quite shocking, but the change in focus when we moved from ad revenue towards a very subscription company, and also with changing a bit the metered paywall strategy, and we can talk about it in a moment, actually increased the actual ARR in more than 300% in just 1 year. And it was from March 2020 when we just started and Corona rolled out until just now, March 2021. So
wow.
that all of this in just 1 year.
Yeah, that's a big number, 300%.
That's a big number.
So you mentioned the meter paywall. How did it help your strategy? And what does it mean?
Yeah, sure. Okay, so up until 2 months ago, we just rolled out the metered paywall in January. What happened in Seeking Alpha is that free users can read everything in the website, almost every article, if they were newer than 10 days. So if you wanted to, deep dive into the past and read about a company and to read the past articles, you had to pay to premium. And this went on for a few years, actually. And everything was good, but we wanted to maximize what we're getting from users. We wanted to go into the next step. So what we did is setting the meter paywall that basically has two main things. One is for logged out users. If you visit the website and you don't have an account, you can view up to pieces of articles or news. So that's one, and we wanted to increase the number of users that register to the website, and then they can read more. And if you already have an account and you're a free user, then you can view up to 5 pieces of articles or news. So the first few days, it was very hard to the users, actually, because they felt that their whole world collapsed, and we did such a huge change and, lots of complaints. But in the end of the day, we got lots of positive feedback from users that said, okay, so I've been using your website for a year and I've been enjoying it and it was great, but I didn't really have the incentive to sign up to premium, and now you just gave it to me. Meaning that I needed that little nudge of pushing towards, okay, so now if you want to read more than 5 articles, you just need to pay. And it was great because this is the core audience that we want. These are the users that basically benefit a lot from premium. So the metered paywall changed the way we see things, and it improved the results massively.
And I think that a lot of companies are really afraid to make changes or to change the status quo because they're afraid of users complaining or users leaving. But at the end, when you want to change your model or focus on something else, then you have to take risks such as this. And that sounds like you took a big risk and it really paid off. So tell me, how did this moment of success felt like?
So I think that I'm going to relate to the moment that we saw basically the success of on-site inventory, although with metered paywall, we felt kind of the same. And the moment that I really realized that we're on the path to success was in just the beginning of the Corona, because we started to advertise on February with the ads for premium in Seeking Alpha website. And then the Corona hit us, and it was mid-March, just like a year ago. And the traffic started to skyrocket, and subscriptions started to pile up. And then the ARR graph was like shooting to the moon. And yeah, you get two bonus points if you got the reference of GameStop, because yeah. But yeah, that felt like a very good moment for everyone, especially for the marketing team and the performance team. And it was, just 1 year ago. That felt like forever. And everybody was already working from home, and I was wearing pajama pants because nobody sees below the chest in Zoom meetings. Although I am. I'm not wearing pajama pants now, but yeah. And it felt like the huge efforts were actually paid off. And I was staring at the Looker dashboards 12 times a day, and each day with a high number of signups felt like we're doing the impossible. So that was amazing.
Wow, it must have been really, really exciting. And I also think it's not easy starting a process, building your strategy, what you talked about, your user acquisition, and then saying, wait a minute, no, that's not what I'm going to do. We're doing a completely different thing, and then making it work. So, wow.
Thanks. Yeah, I agree.
You talked earlier about looking eagerly at the Looker dashboard and looking at the results. And that brings me to the next topic I wanted to talk about, which is tool. That's a topic really close to my heart, because I really believe that using the right tool at the right time can really make the whole difference. So tell me, what's your favorite growth tool at the moment?
So I think that my favorite tool is actually Unbounce. It's a very cool system, and it gives you the ability to be 100% flexible with creating landing pages, and you don't need to rely on your developer. So I can tell you that we have moved all the landing page infrastructure into Unbounce, and we're not using developers almost. Like, it's not 100%, it's 90%. And we're also using their A/B testing mechanism, and it's working very good. We don't need to develop landing pages in the website. We can do everything externally. So also the designer is working directly there. So I recommend to everyone that is having trouble with execution time, with landing pages, to just try Unbounce. It's working pretty great. It sounds like a commercial, but it's not.
No, I think it's great you're so passionate about it. And that's a great recommendation. Thank you. And I think you're also raising a topic that's very relevant, and I hear a lot about it, which is the tension between the marketing team or the product team and between R&D. Because the marketing team, the growth leaders, they want to move fast, they want to move quickly, they don't have the time to wait for the R&D team to support them. So tools like that, like Unbounce or other tools supporting marketing, can really help things to move quickly and to scale fast. And that's what marketers are really looking for. And I think it really also relates to the growth leader mindset, this need to move quickly and to try many things. But that's another thing I wanted to ask you about. What do you think is the growth mindset? what are the most important skills a growth leader must have?
Okay, so growth marketers never sleep, and when we do, we dream of optimizations and A/B testing and data. So I think the most important skill for a growth marketer is to be data-driven, not to be afraid of the data, just to grow with it and to acknowledge it and to learn from it. And it doesn't matter if you do your analysis in Google Analytics or via SQL queries in the database or even Excel, to be honest. And once you gather your insights, you can keep it for future use and for the next optimization round, and also to share it with your team and even with the leadership team. I think they can learn a lot from, small fragments of data that you discovered just in your daily routine of checking the BI system. And there's lots of new stuff that they can learn from it as well.
Well, I couldn't agree more. When it comes to measurement, you know me, I'm definitely a measurement girl. And since you already raised the topic and measurement, so tell me, how do you keep track of things within your team? What are the KPIs you guys measure?
Okay, so basically we have an Excel sheet that consists of the next 6 months goals. And there we have the high-level KPIs. And because we're a very subscription-based company, the main KPI will always be the ARR, the annual recurring revenue, where we're standing right now and where we want to be in a few months. So the way to increase the ARR basically goes towards increasing the subscriptions and introducing more products and doing lots of things in the way there. I think that in terms of the marketing team, we have lots of internal meetings to discuss this KPI and what are we currently doing and how many signups we've got from each one of the channels, if it's acquisition or on-site or the metered paywall and SEO. And we discuss the things that we discovered, and everybody gives his take, and eventually we learn from it and continue to optimize. So it's they say in sales that the phrasing of always be closing. So in marketing we say always be testing.
Always be testing. Another phrase I like, and I think that I really like to do testing. So before we finish, just one last question. I like to call it the super question. What are your growth superpowers?
Okay, so I kind of feel that everything I'll tell you will be a very cliche because everybody looks at themselves as a growth Superman or Superwoman. But I think that for myself personally, the ability to deep dive into Looker and to come with actionable insights, and also the ability to juggle with 10 or maybe more existing projects at the same time is a growth superpower. And on a personal note, I also make very amazing cakes, and this is another superpower. And unfortunately, in the past year, only my husband tried these cakes because we haven't been to the office. But I hope that soon it will be changed and everybody can see each other again, and I can brag about my cooking skills.
Well, if you need any volunteers, I'm definitely willing to sacrifice myself and try your baking.
You're always welcome.
Thank you so much, Ornit, for sharing your insights with me today. It was so great and super interesting to hear about this amazing journey and this incredible growth.
Sure. Thank you, Maya. It was great.